All right, Daniel, we have three similar cars here. They must be significant if you've got three of them.
Yes, they are. All three are Hotchkiss, which was a French auto manufacturer. Hotchkiss was actually a gun maker here from the United States. After the Civil War, he moved over to France and got set up over there. That's why if you look on the logo, you see munitions-related stuff on the seal. It's because of the gun-making history that Hotchkiss had before they transitioned into automobiles.
Okay.
And these three in particular, one's a 52, a 53, and a 54. Hotchkiss was a really good brand of French cars. They were nice cars, they were reliable, very well designed, and these in particular were designed by Jean-Albert Grégoire. And he is a hero to the Cerf family and the owners of this collection. When it comes to French automotive influence and history, he's up at the top with the things that he came up with. He invented the CV joints, which is that in and of itself is incredible. He did a lot of things with design. He was also a race car driver back in the day. And one of the cars that we have on display is a 1929 Tracta that won the 1930 Le Mans, and it was driven by Jean-Albert Grégoire.
Wow.
So he was involved with the automotive industry for a long time, for decades. And these three cars have his fingerprints on them, so to speak. This first one from 52, it's got CV joints in it, and this is a convertible. There were only 5 of these produced.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a beautiful car.
It's a beautiful car.
The interior's, the back seat's actually very roomy looking.
This one debuted at the Paris Motor Show in 1951. And it was kind of wowed by the press and the attendees because it got 27 miles to the gallon.
Really?
Which in 1951, that's a really big deal.
Yeah, that would be a selling point, especially for a car. This is a substantially sized car.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're in a little tiny shoebox.
Right. It's a full size, you know, what we would call a sedan.
Yeah.
And then the 54, you know, another front wheel drive CV joint sedan. This one, there were only about 230, 240 made. But this one has a fascinating story from a restoration standpoint. This car was found in Colorado with less than 7,000 miles. And it was almost beyond repair. It sat under a tree for decades. The tree fell and landed on top of the car.
Oh no.
Smashed the windshield. The roof was concave, but the aluminum was in still good enough shape that it could be re-welded and straightened. And so there was a lot of restoration with this vehicle in particular. But you know, that's part of our mission here at the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum. We're proud of the fact that we have an in-house restoration team of 3 guys. We've got Andy, the mechanic. Smitty does the upholstery and interior kind of finer details. And then Steve does the body work. And so the 3 of them, they stay very busy. They're always working on something. And, you know, we just might be able to show you something that they're working on right now.
Okay, well, we might have to do that. Before we go, I want to ask you a question about this 53.
This is a very cool car.
Yes.
And it's got a very cool story. So it debuted at the New York Auto Show in 1953, which is the same show that the Corvette was unveiled at. So this was a big deal. There was a lot of hype with this auto show. And this is another Grégoire coupe, front wheel drive, CV joints. And this one also was in pretty rough shape when we got it in January of 2011. We've got a picture on the sign. It was in pretty rough shape, but it was restored. And the reason that the collectors wanted this one in particular is because this car was owned by a very influential person when it comes to the automotive industry. And so the story goes, it's the New York Auto Show, 1953. Chevrolet's got a lot of buzz around them because they're unveiling the Corvette.
Yeah.
Ed Cole, who was the chief designer for Chevrolet at the time, is at the auto show. He meets Jean-Albert Grégoire, and Grégoire is showing him parts of the Hotchkiss-Grégoire coupe, how different things work, and he's kind of going through it. Well, Ed Cole went on to become the CEO, the president of General Motors in the 60s. And so Grégoire's talking to him about it. We're not sure if he just really liked the car or if he was really curious about the car, but this car is the one that Ed Cole bought.
Oh, so this was in his possession.
This was in Ed Cole's possession when he was the chief design and engineer head for Chevrolet. He went on to become the president of General Motors, 10, 12 years later. So this was Ed Cole's car. And what's really interesting to us is that there is an Impala on the center logo of the steering wheel.
Oh, we got to have a look at that.
And it wasn't too long after 1953 that Chevrolet releases the Impala.
That happened to be 1958. I happen to know that.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's a connection there, but we can't help but assume that, it's plausible to say that maybe Chevrolet got some inspiration from this car, in this car in particular, because it was Ed Cole's car.
Ed Cole behind the wheel looking at that Impala on the logo going, that looks pretty good.
Right?
Yeah. That's very, very plausible. I like that.
Yep, absolutely.
For all you Chevy Impala fans, here's the Genesis right here. Amazing. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.